A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why people who are enamored by or they are motivated to live a lifestyle which is completely karmic, also which is driven by materialistic pursuits. What is it that drives people to be continuously churning materialistic objects or creating a certain amount of stable materialistic lifestyle and not be focused on ascension? We all know, all the people who are doing inner work, that ascension is a lifestyle and inner work goes on till our last breath. So what makes people go against these things and fall into karmic loops or karmic reality or a karmic lifestyle from where they don't want to get out? Let's get started. Point number 1 is external validation. Yes, people who are driven by materialistic pursuits and a karmic lifestyle, they are often in need of seeking validation, external validation from other people. They want to be seen as successful and wealthy and opulent and important. And as a result of that, they do a lot of effort, they put in a lot of energy to maintain a public or a social image of the same nature. So they are definitely not going inside, they are not looking within, they are not working on themselves, they don't know anything about inner work, or even if they know about inner work, they would want to deny it for the longest time possible. If some of them are lucky, they'll probably get into inner work or they'll start working on all the issues they have and to become more authentic in a more realistic sense that, they are happy, they are enjoying, they are content, and they're living their life for real. But that usually doesn't happen. The second important reason why they have to make so much effort to sustain their public image, their wealth, or just their social status is because they are also very scared of losing it. So materialistic people often think in their heads that their status and their social standing has a lot to do with, or it is tied to, the materialistic possessions they have. So in order to maintain it, in order to keep everything going, because both are connected for them in their minds, to keep one thing going, they have to maintain the other because it's not independent. They also fear losing the status and whatever comes from this. For example, they get invitation for parties or they're important amongst their relatives. The relatives are always calling them up for their advice. I mean, obviously relatives don't need their advice, but because they make so much money or they have so much wealth, that the relatives who are also materialistic by nature are always going to call them or interact with them or be in their good books, because that's how the world functions. And it's very simple to say that birds of a feather flock together. If there are other types of people who are wise and who are intelligent and who care more about their inner work or they care more about being authentic, they would probably be interested in them. But there are not many people around these karmics, because see, karmics are also attracting people with same energy, or they also want people who are impressed by that energy. So we all create our own universes in our minds, and whatever we think in our heads is seen in the outside reality. Now the person who is going through all of this might be thinking that whatever they are doing is the right thing or is the best thing. They are not content, and the reason why they are not content is also because they need a lot of things to massage their ego, the identity, the public identity, the social identity, or the worldly identity, and they do not have a connection with their soul, or they do not have a connection with the spiritual needs of their soul because they are not connected to their soul. Usually such people also attract other people who have similar mindsets or who keep them in that same or similar type of energy. The third and very important point is competition. Materialistic people, they need to compete with others, and this is a constant thing. And because of this competition only, they feel useful because they are winning over some people, or they are constantly like in some kind of a ranking system. They also feel that they need to outdo others in order to feel successful. But this is not an easy thing to achieve. This requires a lot of time, hard work, effort, requires a lot of marketing, PR, a proper machinery which is going to keep churning those things out for them. So it's definitely not easy. They get worked up a lot, but they also keep telling themselves that you're doing fine, you're doing fine, you're doing fine. you're doing good. And then they also look back at all the other materialistic possessions they have, or all the other things they have collected, or they have, like they go out, they tell the world that I do this, I do that, I have this, I have that. So you see, it has to keep going on and on and on and on. Point number 4, and a very important point, is insecurity. Because people who are driven by materialistic possessions or materialistic gains are usually, often it is seen that they have a deep-seated insecurity within them. This sense of insecurity makes them feel that they constantly need to prove themselves. They need to prove their worth to others. And once again, this requires a lot of effort, because it's not easy to keep maintaining your position in the society, your image in the society. I mean, things can go up and down, but a content person, an actually relaxed person, a person who's chilling out will not do that. And chilling out, being relaxed, being content does not mean those people are not responsible. They just have a different way of dealing with those materialistic problems and issues, and they don't want stamp, or they don't want a validation of other people. Oh yes, just because we think you're successful, just because you're the chief guest of certain parties, or just because you're the head member of certain parties, or you're the president of certain associations, you must be an important person. They don't need all of that. They live in their own world and they have tons of things to do, so they really don't care what's happening in the 3D reality. People who are driven by materialistic possessions usually do it because they also feel that they need to go on collecting those things in order to maintain the level of emotions or feelings, which they can label as anything. It can be also the fact that they are extremely stressed out, they're very tired, they are not really enjoying, or they are not in good health, they constantly have some or the other health issue, they are in pain, but they feel that in order to maintain whatever they have, they need to go through certain experiences. It's like maintaining the same level of satisfaction or same level of fame for like 10 years, 20 years. A lot of people who are in the media business, especially the fame business, they do this. They want to remain famous, so in order to maintain the fame that they have achieved, say in last 5 years, they wanted to go on for next 10 years or next 20 years. So they'll keep doing certain things in order to keep it at the same level. Same is with money, and same is with some kind of materialistic possession. So for example, if they have 5 properties, they've bought 5 properties and they want to maintain those 5 properties, so then they have to work, or they have to do certain things in order to maintain that level of luxury or that level of comfort. I mean, this is also known as hedonic adaptation. But why is it different from being content and being at peace? Because usually people who are spiritually inclined and they are not that crazy about only getting materialistic possessions while, fulfilling their earthly duties or their responsibilities, they also have this conscious thinking that I also need to work on my happiness quotient. I also need to check on my emotional intelligence. I also need to be connected to source, to higher beings. I also need to remember that I'm going to die one day and I'm going to leave this planet. So I need to every day do some kind of yogic practice in order to remain connected with reality. So these people don't think like this, because for them, in order to fit into the society or to have a certain lifestyle, the only thing they need to have, the only thing they need to keep going wherever they are going at whatever speed, is to continue to be that famous, to be that recognized, to be that rich. So if they have $200 million, just saying, for example, they want to either grow it to 300-400, or they want to continue having that much amount or the same type of money. See, because even for all these people, there is a certain point from which you cannot go any further. For example, somebody becomes a billionaire when they have $1 billion. But that billionaire status will continue. Whether they have 1 billion or they have 100 billion, they will still continue to be a billionaire. So they want to maintain that status, or they want to maintain that position. So the hedonic treadmill or the hedonic adaptation, why it is called treadmill? Because you have to keep running on the treadmill. The treadmill should not stop. That's how they feel. So happiness quotient is not that important. They don't care about it. They are not content, that's okay. They are not happy, that's okay. They are sad, miserable, whatever. But that thing, that has to be maintained. That has to continue being in the same position or at the same status. It is also a type of pleasure and satisfaction, but once again, it is always depending on materialistic objects and money and those type of tangible things. But just the way you breathe in oxygen every day, but you can't see it. Similarly, people feel peace, but if someone asks them, can you touch peace or can you keep peace somewhere, you can't do that. I mean, the PEAS peace you can, but PEACE, you have to feel it, you have to go through it. So, piece by piece, bit by bit, we learn to establish ourselves into this practice. Instead of being so crazy about materialistic possessions and objects, one needs to become a sthit pragya. Sthit pragya refers to a person of steady wisdom, the one who has experienced truth from within, or one who's on the path of experiencing truth from within. So on this note, I'm going to close this session. I will see you soon in another one. One love, peace out, and Jai Shri Ram.